the soundtrack of your life's journey. Kingfisher FM.
It's that time of the afternoon on a Thursday.
Good day. You are tuned to Your Financial Journey, where planning matters. Brought to you by Risk-Free Solutions, an accredited Old Mutual Agency franchise, with Vernon DeVos and Ethan Black. The show that helps you make quality decisions and thrive. Unpack your future and make it better. Every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. right here on 107.5 FM.
Vernon, welcome back to the studio in 2021. I hope it was a good break and it's a good start to the year.
Yes, thanks, Ethan. It's good to be back, and all the best to the listeners for 2021. Hope it's a good year for everyone. Yeah, feeling really relaxed and really optimistic for the year ahead. So quite excited.
Good, because I think 2020, a lot of us didn't have that much optimism, but maybe we've become accustomed to this new normal, and from that perspective, maybe we are thinking a little bit more about our finiteness.
Yes, absolutely. And also, you know, if there's one thing 2020 has taught us, is attitude is everything. You know, you can either decide to see the glass half full or half empty, and it's a choice you make. So I say see the glass half full, and from that point, move forward.
All right. So Vernon from Risk-Free Solutions chatting to us this Arvies. And we've also got a very special guest on the line with us today. So Vernon, who joins us?
Yeah, we've got David Kaplan. David actually reports into my Kimberley office in the Northern Cape, but believe it or not, he's sitting probably about 45 minutes outside of Kimberley in a town called Jacobsdal. And David has been with me for well over 15 years within the franchise business. He actually joined me before we went on this venture. So David's been with me for a while. So David in Jacobsdal, welcome.
Ethan and Vernon and the listeners, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Are you ready to do your thing, David? So maybe to the listeners out there, it's the month of love, you know. So that's our theme today. We believe that one needs to constantly think about one's loved ones. If one thing 2020 has taught us is that the people closest to us do matter. And I think our theme today is to talk about taking care of those loved ones that are so close to us. And I know David's got something that he wants to share with us. So David, I'm going to hand over to you.
Yeah, thanks, David.
Ethan, thank you very much. Yes, there's a couple of thoughts, guys. The coronavirus has really shown us a few things. One of the things it has shown us is that life is rather fragile and also very delicate. You can be here that one day and gone the next. Another thing is you should cherish your loved ones, because your loved ones is the people that really matter in life. But especially during this month of love, I would recommend, guys, give them a present. There are a couple of things I would recommend in this month as well. Instead of giving your loved ones expenses and presents and dinners, contact your financial advisor and do financial planning. I'll give you a reason shortly. And draw the proper will. I want to tell you guys a story that happened to me of one of my clients. Lovely gentleman, wife and 2 kids at school. And I phoned them, made an appointment, and went to see them for the financial planning. They said, David, listen here, thank you for this. And I did all the stuff, gave them recommendations, but it was too expensive. And I asked them, guys, what could you afford? And they told me, you know, David, you can afford this. And instead of giving a huge, big amount, which I can't afford, I gave them the affordable amount. I took the cover. And so to say, this man, in the prime of his life, in his 40s, got a heart attack after a couple of months, and he passed on. And that left his wife and 2 beautiful children, 2 daughters, at school with no income, because he was the main breadwinner. So the claim paid out, and I could invest this money for them. And this income out of this cover put the kids through university, for school. And you know what? This is friends of mine. And until this day, the lady is still my friend. And you could make, if you as an advisor can make a difference in someone else's life, that is what really matters.
No, it's a harsh reality. I think that we before 2020, maybe we sort of put it on the back burner, but I think it's really come to the fore now. If you want to give the gift of love, you want to actually then get your things in order. And one of those is to make sure that in the event that something does happen to you and you're no longer around, that there is something in place for your family.
Even how true. I've seen so many times that the advisor is the voice of reason. It's a little voice in the guy says, you actually need this.
Yeah, and I think you said something very interesting there, David. You said you did the financial plan, and obviously once you did the whole financial plan, you actually realized that the shortfall was a lot bigger than they thought or they realized. And then when you quantified that need, the premium was a bit expensive, and you had to then have a discussion regarding what was important as far as the financial plan goes, make some adjustments to the shortfall, and still come up with a good solution for your client. And I think that is so important. So well done on doing that, because I think it could have been so easy to say, listen, you've done all the work. I'm looking at what my problem is. I'm then looking at what you're recommending, and I'm saying, whoa, this is a bit expensive. I actually can't afford it. And you could have easily walked away and said, oh, well, he can't afford it. But you thought further than that. You said, hey, guys, yes, that might be the best case scenario for you to take out this cover, but let's look at some other options. And I mean, I think you doing that is so important, because I think there's a lot of listeners out there that might think in the exact same way, think, you know what, how expensive is life cover? You know, can I afford it? But if you do a proper financial plan and you actually then look at the affordability side and then say, you know what, this is ideal, but this would still be sufficient, I think that is a very important point to make, and something that you did, hence the outcome. David?
Yes, that is really true. I would also, one of my friends, I actually saw his father over Christmas, and this man, the father, passed on due to COVID-related issues. And the son is a client of mine. He phoned me, David, I don't know where my dad's will is. I don't know where his life policies is or are. So I would strongly recommend to each client out there, please tell your loved ones where their cover is and at which bank or an accountant or lawyer the will is kept as well, because that is incredibly important.
I guess it's the thing that most people forget about, they think, oh no, I've put it there, or it's in a shoebox somewhere, and they might have got the things in place, but they haven't tied it up in a bow by saying, all right, it's all here in this one file. If anything should happen, here it is. Or here's my password to get into my account here. Or this is my advisor. And call them. They know what's going on, Yeah,
100%. So what's the use of having all this in place and then hiding it away? And when something happens, nobody can find it. So it's actually null and void. So again, David, I think you make a very valid point. By informing your loved ones where the important documents are. If they're in the safe, know where the keys are, or let your loved one know what the combination is to get into the safe. So important. So important.
Very true.
We're going to break away quickly. We're chatting to David. When we come back, I just want to touch a little bit on when we plan for our passing and talk about cover. Just give us the nuts and bolts maybe a little bit. Talk to us about how does it work with, applying for life cover and underwriting and all this type of stuff. I think sometimes, just empowering people with knowledge helps them to have a little bit more confidence in the process, as opposed to thinking, oh, this is a very difficult thing, or it's not for my family, when it could be for everyone. So we're gonna be back in a moment with David. We're focusing on true love, is making sure your loved ones are taken care of. Back in a moment.
You are listening to Your Financial Journey, where planning matters. Brought to you by Risk-Free Solutions, an accredited Old Mutual Agency franchise. The show that helps you make quality decisions and thrive.
your motivation station. This is Kingfisher FM. PE's #1 Christian contemporary station, Kingfisher FM.
You are listening to Your Financial Journey, where planning matters. Brought to you by Risk-Free Solutions, an accredited Old Mutual Agency franchise. The show that helps you make quality decisions and thrive.
Yeah, it comes down to making good decisions in life, hey? And then you can look back and say, phew, I'm so glad I did that and I didn't waste my time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today we're talking a little bit about, in Valentine's month, true love, making sure your loved ones are taken care of. And one of the most important things that you can do is give the gift of surety, peace of mind going into 2021.
Yeah. And for those listeners out there, David is quite a romantic at heart. So it's good to have him talking in the month of love. And you can ask David's wife. He's quite a romantic guy. Hey, David.
Yes, as well. It's my birthday on Valentine's Day.
So, David, who gets the gift on Valentine's Day? You, or does your wife get the gift? So I'm always confused by that, since your birthday is on Valentine's Day.
I normally get the gift on Valentine's Day, but I make sure that my wife does get a good Valentine's present either before or after Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying. He knows what he's doing.
Very diplomatic answer.
He knows
Good
what he's
answer.
doing.
All right. Okay, so Vernon, we're chatting a little bit here with David about the nuts and bolts of putting some cover in place for us. Maybe you could just talk to us about how does it work? I mean, how do I know how much life cover? Because people say, give me a quote or something like that.
David, you want to unpack that?
Yes. Normally, you must do analysis. You must go to see a financial or professional person, a financial advisor, and the person will then do the planning for you. But in a nutshell, there must be sufficient money to support your debt and sufficient capital to provide your loved ones with an amount to invest for income.
Yeah, so two things. Number one is you've got to pay the debt off. And number two, whatever is left must be invested. And that needs to provide the family with an income, because groceries still need to be bought, the water and lights accounts still need to be paid, the kids still need to go to school, even after all the debt's paid. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so how much is that?
Yeah, and I think that's what David is saying. That is where you do the financial plan. And the financial plan, because everybody's situation is different and everybody's situation is unique. That is why doing the financial plan is so important. But I think maybe what we need to do is unpack that if somebody does apply for cover with an insurance company, what's the process that client would go through, David? And what are the key things people need to know when applying for life cover?
The most important is when you see the financial advisor, he is going to ask you, or he or she is going to ask you medical questions. And that must be answered truthfully. So if you're a smoker, please tell them I smoke so much per day. Or if you've got any medical condition, disclose that to the guy. It doesn't help you apply for cover and you get the cover, and at claim stage there's an issue. So when I do planning for clients, I make sure we give all the information through to the underwriters to make an informed decision.
Yeah, and that's the duty of the financial advisor, is to once the client has agreed on the amount of cover, then to stop and say, listen, we are applying for cover. You don't get the cover automatically, because you pay you get life cover with two things. You get it by paying your premium every month, and you get it by being healthy. Isn't that so, David?
Very true, yes. And sometimes people don't think as well, even your hobbies, if you go and hunt on a regular basis, disclose that.
Yeah.
If there's any dangerous hobbies you partake in, disclose that as well.
Yeah. So to the listeners out there, I think that is very important. Once your financial advisor has chatted to you and you've agreed on a certain amount of cover, those questions are very, very important. So for us that has been in the business for a long time, we've seen how that unfolds when the incorrect information is given at application stage, it actually has a huge impact on the payout of that claim. So number one, make sure you disclose all your health issues. As David says, if you're a smoker, if you're a non-smoker, mention that, say, I do smoke. If you are doing risky activities, you have to mention that in the application process. Because once that application goes through to the underwriters, they have to make a business decision whether they would want to accept that risk or reject that risk. And if the incorrect information is given, you actually put yourself at a disadvantage, because the insurance company or the underwriter could say that, listen, that information was not given to us and that was pertinent for us to be able to make a decision. In fact, we would have not accepted the cover if we knew about that situation or that illness. Because we know in the insurance business, we know the claims don't get paid and people are obviously negatively affected by that. But when you go down to the nuts and bolts of why that claim wasn't honored, a lot of the time it sits in that space where all the information wasn't provided. And you want to give yourself the best opportunity or put yourself in the best position for your claim to pay out. So therefore, take the time to answer the questions truthfully, provide the insurance company and the underwriters with all the information so that when it comes to claim stage, your claim will be honored.
Tell me, I take out life cover today, and tomorrow I get sick. All right. Do I have to then go back and tell the insurance company I'm sick now, or what?
So date of application is important. So you've got to disclose all your information from the date that those questions are put towards you or asked. The questions that were asked to you, on that day, you've got to give all the information. Once you sign that application on today's date, everything from now and behind is relevant. Everything going forward is irrelevant. So if you get sick in a month's time or in a week's time, that's fine, because you weren't sick when you answered the question. It's all the information from today and backwards, really, that matters. Everything going forward, because you can't predict you're going to be sick, doesn't make sense. But that is why you sign that application and you date that application to say, well, all the questions that were asked to me today, I've answered, and I've answered it truthfully. And therefore I sign and say, as of today, this is my health situation, or this is my risky activity situation, or my smoking status as of today.
Okay. And then tell me, if I now take up hunting next year, do I have to worry that they won't pay my claim out now?
Okay, so there are things that you have to disclose. Okay, so if you do take up hunting, you have to go back to the insurance company and say, listen, so this has got nothing to do with health. This has got to do with behavior now. Okay. My behavior has changed. I'm now doing hunting, or I'm paragliding as a hobby now. So my chances of something happening to me is a lot bigger. So you need to inform your insurance company about that. That's very important. Okay. Because they need to, as a business, need to assess the risk and either come up with a different solution for you. So one of the things that they could do is they could say, listen, because of the activity that you're involved in, we might have to increase your premium to cover that risk. But you just have to be aware of it.
I guess that's why it's important to regularly connect with the financial advisor.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. David, I don't know if you want to add something. Yeah.
Yes. I normally do annual reviews of my clients at least once a year. And the purpose of an annual review is not to buy more insurance, the client buy more insurance. It is to make sure that everything is correct and relevant on his policy at the insurer at that stage. So if he's, for example, taken up a hobby or changed occupation, he's resigned as a government employee and work overseas in the Middle East somewhere, that can be relevant, and it must be disclosed to the insurance company.
Yes, very true.
And maybe somebody's listening and say, oh well, I've had some medical condition, I'm not even going to bother applying. Is that the right attitude?
No, you got to apply. So I mean, we've seen it that where guys say that, listen, this and this has happened to me, and the insurance company will not give me cover. And, I say to them, you know what, rather apply, wait for the outcome, and then And a lot of times, especially life cover, the insurance companies are quite lenient when it comes to giving life cover. I know disability and the severe illness, they're a lot more stricter in that space. But in the life cover space, a lot of the time, they will look at it.
Okay.
And your experience on that, David?
Yes, my experience as well. And even if they've told you no the first time, I've had clients where I've done the effort and applied 3 times at the insurance company. And the third time is self-improved, and we got the life cover for the client.
Yeah, in fact, we were just busy with a deal now, me and you, David, where the insurer was only prepared to give a certain amount of cover. And we had to get involved, and we got that cover doubled, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very true. If you really push, it can be increased.
Yeah. So to the listeners out there, I know we don't like thinking about if something does happen, but I think the responsible thing is to pause, stop, think about your loved ones, think about your family, think about your kids, and say, if something does happen, what is in place? And if nothing is in place, guys, I think the responsible thing and the right thing to do is get hold of your financial advisor. Get hold of us at www.riskfreesolutions.co.za. One of our financial advisors will give you a call and, look at your financial plan and come up with a solution, or at least put a recommendation forward. And you can then decide if it works for you or not. But the important thing is, don't ignore it. Don't walk away from it. I think you gotta look at it.
Don't wait till it's too late.
Don't wait till it's too late. Yeah.
Well, a very happy Valentine's Day and birthday for you, David. I hope it's going to be a very special one. And thank you very much for chatting to us this afternoon, all the way from Kimberley. I guess now with modern technology, we can talk to you over Zoom or MS Teams or whatever we want to do, and seek your financial consult from those digital platforms. But thank you for your time this afternoon. We really do appreciate it.
Ethan, thank you very much. Vernon, thank you. And listeners out there, have a lovely weekend.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you. See you next week.
You have been listening to Your Financial Journey, where planning matters. Brought to you by Risk-Free Solutions, an accredited Old Mutual Agency franchise. Tuning weekly to the show that leads the way so that no one gets left behind. Every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. right here on 107.5 FM.
Hope Radio, Kingfisher FM.